would benefit them, the school the school community, and the community at large.
Excellent idea. That would be great.
The other thing is, with putting in a TV studio, I'll also be working with NORCAM and with that advisory board to see what we can put together for equipping that TV studio. I mean, there's not an endless amount of funds on either side, but I think it would benefit all of us to have as much new equipment in the new school as possible.
Mel's been our NORCAM representative for, what, 2 or 3 weeks now? Tonight's the first night I can remember the equipment not functioning when we opened the meeting.
It's my
12
fault.
years.
It's
My
functioning.
fault.
You just
I don't know if
jumped the
there's
gun.
any.
I know.
I don't know if there's any.
It's my fault.
Can I
Chuck,
throw-
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Chuck. No, you were before me.
Two more things. One of them, congratulations for you two, rerunning.
Oh, thank you, Chuck.
Seeing this project through.
Thank you.
All right, that's a big thing. You have knowledge of it. And the other thing is a little commercial that I would like to throw in, that on the 28th of April, we're having the induction of the North Reading High School Athletics Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
Where is that, Chuck?
That's right.
That's going to be at the Hillview.
The Hillview?
The
And this is the 3rd year or 4th year?
Third year.
3rd year.
All right.
Yep.
What time is it?
That'll start at 6 o'clock,
Excellent. Thank you.
but I thought I'd throw that out there.
So April 28th, 6 o'clock, Hillview, North Reading Athletic Hall of Fame inductions.
Induction ceremony.
Thank you.
I just wanted to add one other thing, and I think, hearing a lot of community reaction to the school building project, I think that there's really one obvious thing that we've done that really sets this process apart, and that is we've really built partnerships. We've really engaged the community. We've gone to every aspect of community, whether it's a business in town, parents, the kids in the schools have been active in this, as well as
Seniors, everybody.
seniors, young professionals. We've asked every question, and we've been able to. I think we've bent over backwards getting information out, and also having it be a two-way street. So there hasn't not been an opportunity for people to come and air their issues or to ask questions. I think we're at a stage that's critical in the project where we're all behind this. I mean, we're 100% behind this project. There is a tremendous community response. I think this has been a very positive process, and it continues to be so. But this was all spurred because this community decided to be proactive about public safety of our kids, and to give them an environment where their student achievement was going to be put first and in a healthy and nurturing environment. That is the entire goal of doing this project, from my perspective. So, points of view that are that want to be in this tunnel really have no place in this project, because that's not how we've rolled this out. And I've only been involved in this project for, 3 years, and I've watched it, and I've been part of the community, and I'm part of the community that doesn't quite understand the project because I don't have any children, and I'm, a young working professional. How does this benefit me is the question I hear all the time. Those questions have been answered, and we continue to answer them. That we have an open line. There's a fantastic website and a group of people. So if there continue to be these challenges, there's a time and place that they've been answered, and we continue to answer them. So I think we've done a fantastic job. I think, Chuck, your leadership and also the building committee has been phenomenally responsive. So I appreciate that very much so.
I did want to ask one other question.
Yep.
At last week, and I do want to thank them with all of my heart, the Board of Selectmen and the Finance Committee voted, I believe both unanimously, to
Support the
endorse
project.
and support the project. Should we take a vote tonight to do the same thing?
I don't, have we already taken that vote? I thought we had, but you know what? Let's do it again and
Let's
reinforce it.
ratify the decision.
Now that we have the final numbers, and a lot more information, I think we ought to,
I move that we wholeheartedly endorse the project.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Cliff, a second by Mel. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries by a vote of 5-0. And just one last item, I want to thank Barbara Stats for hosting that meeting last week. That was excellent. We're glad that she was able to do it. And again, I can't say enough about, and I want to thank the transcript too, because every week they've been publishing the question of the week, and I think that's been very, very, very
Yeah.
helpful and very informative, so I thank them as well. And as far as Chuck and the committee, I can't say enough, and I'm sure we're going to be thanking them again in the future, but they've done a tremendous, tremendous job to get us to this point, so.
Well, and it's awesome that they've done that job, given that I think it's a 21 or 22 member committee or something like that. And for everybody to come together the way they have is not really easy.
It's an unbelievable committee. I've never seen anything like it. People were critical at first. At first, when we had that committee, we expanded it to 20 or 21 people. There were only 9 or 10 voting members. We said, no, everybody needs to be able to vote on this committee. The Board of Selectmen, the school committee endorsed that, and it's worked out unbelievable. It's a tremendous group of people. A lot of them have been there for the 7 years with Chuck, and Chuck's been the chairman for the whole time, and he has worked tirelessly on this project, so.
There's a lot of complementary talents on that
There are.
committee.
Yeah.
And that's very helpful. You have people
Team.
doing the thing that they can do best,
And we've got a lot of that.
and they
And
pass the work around.
The best thing about that committee, too, is that we have whatever number it is, 10 citizens who are not elected officials or appointed officials. They've donated their time, and they're totally invested in this project, so.
Well, to echo one more thing, just that Karen said, that committee has also pretty much opened the doors and brought in anybody who had questions or issues with the new school or requests. North Reading baseball, basketball, Parks and Rec, police, public works,
The abutters.
the abutters. And I think that's important that we've heard all of those groups. You know, were they all 100% satisfied with our answers? No, but we gave them the time that they requested. And I think that a lot of issues have been worked out close to satisfaction with everybody.
I hope so. Okay, thank you, Chuck.
Thanks, Jerry.
Okay,
Thanks, Chuck.
moving on. Next on the agenda is policy revision. We're going to have a second reading of JGK, which is the head injury concussion policy, and JGKR, which are the regulations that go with that policy. The policy's lengthy, the regulations are longer. I'm not going to read them, but I'd ask for a motion. This is, again, second reading on policy JGK and the attached regulations.
Should we wait till Karen comes back?
Yeah, we can. Any discussion at all regarding this?
I'm going to vote against again because I do not support
I understand.
forcing parents to take a course. I just don't, I don't understand where that comes from. I understand why they're doing it, but I don't understand this whole issue of forcing parents. And what happens if a parent doesn't take a course? Does that mean a kid can't play sports?
Good
And how
question.
and how do we prove that a parent did or did not take the course?
Kathy, just, Cliff, either one of you briefly just want to say where this policy came from and the regulations, how we got to this?
Sure, it's included in the Department of, it's Mass General Laws, falls under the Department of Public Health. There is a sign-off that each parent will need to sign confirming that he or she has participated in the training that is offered by the school district. And until the school district receives that sign-off from parents, the child will be excluded from play. It's in the regs.
I have a question. What happens if you don't pass this?
Will
What are
be in
the
violation of Mass General Law. I have to send a letter by March 1st to the Department of Public Health
Saying we've,
saying that we have voted a final policy on sports-related head injury.
Before March 1st.
this is the last day, obviously, for us to
Yes.
vote on it before March 1st, so. Okay, so again, we have the policy, we have the regulations that are part of the policy. I'd ask for a motion to approve both JGK and JGKR, which are the regulations.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, motion
I'll
from
second.
Cliff, we have a second from Karen, and again, this is to approve in second reading. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Okay, the motion carries by a vote of 4-1 with Mel Webster voting no.
Dissenting.
We also have policy, again, this is for second reading. Refresh my memory, on the entire section, we weren't voting on that, we were just gonna note that we reviewed it? Because
That's
this is dealing, okay, all right. DIFA, again, this is for second reading, this is regarding responsibility for internal revolving accounts. It's a two-sentence policy change. Basic responsibilities for internal revolving accounts rest with the school committee. School committee may delegate this responsibility through the superintendent of schools to the director of finance and operations. This passed on first reading on February 13th.
Did we pass this, or was this the one that we had a whole bunch of
No.
discussion over?
We held DJ, EJ, and DK. Those are not coming forward to you tonight,
And that related to unused funds?
as well
Okay.
as
How to
signing
disposed-
warrants.
Yeah, disperse, which we all had questions about, I think.
And we're still gonna work one, though?
We're gonna
okay.
work
Those
on
are-
those.
Okay.
Future
Okay.
meeting.
So, do we have a motion to approve at second reading, DIFA?
I'll make a motion to approve DIFA, responsibility for internal revolving accounts.
And I'll
Sec-
second that.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, we have a
Cliff.
motion by Mel and a second by Cliff. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none, motion carries by a vote of 5-0. We have policy DJEB, which is quality control. And I'll quickly read that. The quality standard for goods and services shall be established by the superintendent on advice of the director of finance and operations, principals, and teachers of the respective areas. Basic criteria in determining quality should be the purpose of use of the material equipment, the results obtained, and the required characteristics. Additional factors are availability, standardization of product, manufacturer practices, and standardization of packaging of desired material. All these criteria shall provide goods and services satisfactory for the purpose of the intended use. This was approved on first reading on February 13, 2012.
Just to make a note, the only change here was the changing of the business manager's title
To
to
the
Director
Director of Finance and Operations, yeah.
Right.
And that's a result of the title change.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Cliff,
Second.
second by Karen. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none. Motion carries by a vote of 5-0. Energy Conservation, ECF. And again, I think the major change was Director of
Title.
Finance and
Yep.
Operations, the title, so I'm not even gonna bother to read it. We approved on first reading on February 13th.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Motion to approve from Karen, second from Cliff. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, none. Motion carries by a vote of 5-0. Policy EDAA,
Same thing.
use
Same
of
thing.
school vehicles. Again, we made a change in the last, I think the last sentence, to Director of Finance and Operations. And we approved this at first reading on February 13th. Do we have a motion for second reading?
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Mel, second by Cliff. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed, none, motion carries by a vote of 5-0. And again, we will be able to note on those sections, major sections, that they were reviewed on this date. All right, new business. Do you want to do that trip first, Kathy, or do you want to just go by the agenda here?
I could,
Any preference?
I'll absolutely do the trip first.
You want to do that? Okay, we
Yes.
do have a fairly, well, a recent request from John Bernard, the principal at the high school, regarding a student council trip, and I'd ask the superintendent to present that.
Yes, the school council is requesting to attend their annual, student council, their annual student council conference in Hyannis on March 7th, 8th, and 9th. You have a copy of the proposal that was given to you this evening. The North Reading High School senior student Julie Bash, who is our school's student council president, is doing a considerable amount of work organizing this conference, and she in fact is the president of the student councils of our local region, which is the Northeast Massachusetts Association of Student Councils. And the students would be accompanied by their advisor, Ms. Amy St. Arnaud, and they will be departing North Reading High School at 9 a.m. on Wednesday, March 7th. And they will be returning approximately 2 p.m. on Friday, March 9th. They will be staying at the Resort and Conference Center at Hyannis. I am familiar with that location. There are other conferences that are held there as well. It's at the last school committee meeting, it was noted that there was a request that these requests for field trips come to us with about 30 days' notice. And this morning, our principal at the high school sent out an email to our faculty letting them know that as of today, this procedure was going to begin. And unfortunately, last week we had vacation when this proposal should have come forward and didn't. So as of today, no other proposals will be entertained if they do not come in with at least 30 days prior notification to the building principal and then forwarded to me to give to you in your
Because I think
packets.
Mel emphasized the last time.
He
and that
did.
We don't
Right.
want everybody getting a little bit,
He did.
sloppy with this either.
Right.
I'd like to give him the opportunity to repeat that, actually.
I'm gonna vote for this, so that means I'm being hypocritical, because last week I said I would never vote for another one with such a short period of time,
I'm
but,
not gonna hold you to everything you say.
well, thank God. I think,